The John W. McCormack Federal Building, with its 22 stories and 600,000 square feet of space, is located in the heart of downtown Boston. Built in 1933 in the Art Deco style, the building has been undergoing modernization and renovation with an emphasis on green practices. We're going into the John W. McCormack Building to chat with the construction and design team of its recent green modernization and renovation. This is Anastasia from High Pro Video. Let's go.
When we started this project, we looked at what was a beautiful building, and we wanted to bring it up to a modern state-of-the-art building. So the design approach was first to replace the antiquated and obsolete HVAC systems. All the MEP systems were pretty much gutted and restored with energy-efficient state-of-the-art systems. Same thing with fire protection, fire alarm. We took a very aggressive approach to putting in modern systems into an old building.
The GSA procured the general contracting services in a two-phase procurement. They shortlisted a group of general contractors who were then the firms that provided the bids at the time. Suffolk was a successful bidder and started in. Initially, the project had a little bit of budget constraints that we were able to work through and help the GSA get to their budget programs.
We, Tishman, were brought on immediately after the contract was awarded to the general contractor, Suffolk Construction Company. And we got involved at the very inception of construction in the oversight and coordination process.
The major tenants are the Environmental Protection Agency, the U.S. Bankruptcy Court, and the Department of Education. We worked with them to find out what needs they had and then converted those to space plans that were particular to the floors of the building. That was really the starting point. So we had a scheme that made use of the building in a way that suited the needs of the tenants in 2009. As far as the MEP portions, we realized that we needed to have a modern air-conditioned building. We needed to update the mechanical systems, which were steam generated 75 years ago and now allow us to generate heat by hot water and regulate cooling and heating in all seasons of the year very carefully. And we also completely upgraded the sprinkler system and fire alarm and an electrical system. But we largely saw that we had a real showpiece of a building, and it was our intention to restore those features that made it such a wonderful place and make sure that the public could see the beauty of that original design.
The interesting things about the green roof are that they're not just aesthetic, but they're also, there's a lot of functionality. Drainage from all the different roofs is filtered through the green roof, and that water then goes into cisterns, which, even though the plants are designed and have been extensively tested so that they're native and adaptive, so they don't need that much irrigation, but in the summertime, inevitably drought conditions occur, so that water that's been stored and filtered through the green roof can then be pumped up and used for irrigation.
The approach was to put an energy-efficient HVAC system in the building. We did that. We maximized the energy efficiency of the systems we put in the building. We also maximized the daylighting. This building had beautiful high floor plates, large windows. In the past, half the windows were cut off by lowered ceilings, so a design goal was to restore the windows so that we could maximize the daylighting. We also introduced daylight dimming sensors on the windows, the perimeter lighting systems. We put occupancy sensors in all the offices to maximize the efficiency of the lighting. We insulated all the exterior facade to again maximize energy. Insulation on the roofs that were restored. Perimeter heating systems to give us a positive pressure building.
I look at this building similar to another Boston icon, the Fenway Park. Both are beautiful old structures that have owners who really appreciate the grandeur in both, and found architects who knew how to bring it back to its original splendor. We're doing very well in that vein. I believe we're just about 78% of our trash that's brought off-site has been able to be recycled. Our team has done an excellent job of sorting out as best we can before it actually leaves the building, but given our tight constraints in a downtown environment, we also brought in the services of a waste handling firm that was able to segregate what trash we weren't able to segregate before it left the building at their processing facility. So we have a pretty high rate there that's going to help contribute to points for the LEED scorecard.
The biggest challenge was that meeting the fiduciary duty to the American taxpayer while dispersing equity amongst the various contractors in the private sector, and making sure that we all complied with federal law in doing our day-to-day work.
I think it's critical to understand the project at the beginning, to understand your design goals, and as Paul said, you need to anticipate that there are going to be issues, and you have to plan for that. I think you also want to make sure that you do as much investigation as you can during the design phase, and that you bring the construction manager on in time to work through those issues. I think all in all, the teamwork, it's essential that the team, the architect, the construction manager, and the contractor work closely and communicate closely, because there are always issues on a project that where you're not going to have agreement. We've been able to work through anything on this project that's come up, we've been able to work through. So I think you need to maintain relationships, and you need to understand that there are going to be issues, and that you need to continue to work through them. And everybody needs to understand the same goal, and the goal is to deliver a fabulous project, and I think we're on course to do that.
We could push as much paper as possible, but without that dedication of those 300 men and women that took pride in their day-to-day work, this would never have happened. So we could paint as many pretty pictures we want on paper, but to implement that and to come in for 30 months and weekends, and the dedication that they felt and had in pride in their workmanship just speaks volumes as you walk through the halls of this building.
I'm a Boston-raised guy, and in these economic times, you look at what this does for the community. This is a landmark building. We're restoring a landmark building, a building that I used to walk through as a child, and now we're bringing this building back, named after John W. McCormack, Speaker of the House, someone who did a lot for this community. And we're creating these jobs. It's not only the 380 jobs, the construction jobs that are created, it's the vendors that are working, it's the construction management team, the architects, the engineers, the people who drive the trucks to deliver the product here so that we can put it in. So when you look at this stimulus, at what this does for the economy, a project of this scale, it's a high-value project. We're creating a lot of jobs, a lot of local jobs, and helping to keep the economy rolling.
For the full story, check out the August 2009 edition of High Profile Monthly at www.high-profile.com.